Welcome back to the Now Morning Show. We're getting you ready for the Eucharistic Congress happening this weekend inside your Spotlight on Now.
This Saturday, the 10th of May, all roads lead to the Queen's Park Oval for the Eucharistic Congress 2025. Joining us in studio is Father Robert J. Christo, the Vicar for Communications, right here in Trinidad and Tobago, Archdiocese of Port of Spain, and Nisha Lee-Archibald, Communications Lead for the Eucharistic Congress. Good morning to both of you and welcome.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you. I know you both are definitely quite busy with everything that's taking place.
Coffee helps.
It does help. So let's start big. What exactly is the Jubilee year 2025, Father, and why is it so significant for Catholics across the world?
Well, Jubilee is a big name. It's from Leviticus 25:10 in the Bible, where people would celebrate. It's called the horn. So you just want to reset. You want to rejuvenate. You want to reset the battery. You want to detox. You know, like long time you get a worm out. It's actually just starting. It's a fresh start. You know, a year of forgiveness, a year of setting slaves free,
right,
and letting the land rest. So that is traditional, that's biblical. So every 50 years, the church will say, let's rest, let's recharge. Can we rekindle hope? And this is one of the years Pope Francis had asked, God rest his soul, that we recharge and revamp and rejuvenate and recharge.
Yeah, definitely. And how does the Eucharistic Congress fit into the Jubilee year?
Because, well, for the Jubilee year theme is pilgrims of hope.
Okay.
And when you are a pilgrim, it's activity and work. So that means you need food and sustenance. And we believe in the Catholic Church, we have a sacramental form of eating, which is the Eucharist, and that's the highest form of Christian worship for us. And this is food for the journey, not food for the body, it's food for the soul.
Yeah.
So it rekindles the soul and brings us back to a kind of oneness on this one meal. You know, like in Africa, there's a communal platter, and Chinese do something called tapakanti or whatever, where you have one dish and everybody eats. The kind of oneness that we even celebrate at Carnival and in our fetes and stuff. It's a oneness we can celebrate again in a sacred form, in a sacramental form. And we are doing that in the stadium, inviting everybody, curious people, onlookers, church, unchurched, no believers, everybody to come and share that meal sacramentally and non-sacramentally, what we call a agape meal. You bring a piece of bread and just want to celebrate our oneness, our togetherness. There is hope never disappoints. There is so much of hope in togetherness.
Yeah, there is so much hope in togetherness. And one of the things, of course, that's so beautiful is that it's open to everybody. This is definitely not an exclusive event.
Everybody, not Catholics, non-Catholics, non-believers, curious, you could go on a tree and come. Everybody is a kind of oneness. That's what the Eucharist we celebrate. We want to live it, we want to evangelize it, we want to become it, and we want to eat it.
Is there any particular reason why it's being hosted in Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, that's part of our Jubilee celebration. Okay. It's not the end, it's in the middle, it's in May, and something flows to it and flows out of it. It's not the end. The oval is not the finishing line, it's an ignition line, it's an ignition point. Fire going to go after. Okay. Fire's already begun already in all the sacred sites.
So right now we're revving up, going to all the different sacred sites.
This sacred monstrance on our mobile altar, the Eucharist, which we believe is Jesus, truly present, body, blood, soul, and divinity. It's moving around. There's healing, there's power, there is so much a renewal, recharging again, exactly what Jubilee has asked us for. And Our Lady of Fatima statue is moving around. Tomorrow morning is going to be, today's going to be going across the seas. We're going to be blessing the waters around the shores. Going to Tobago, coming back to Curep tomorrow. And then back.
It's to Sangre Grande.
Sangre Grande, then Curep, and then at the Oval again. And then it's going to come to my parish after. That's a secret.
No. Well, we know now. All right. So before we get, I really want to come back to the blessing of the waters, but let's talk about the format of the day.
Yes,
Tell us a little bit.
It's actually really exciting. Now, Father talked about the Eucharist being oneness. That's what Jesus gave us. He gave us himself in the Eucharist because before that, we were separated from God, right? So he gave us a gift so that we can unite with God. But we were also separated from each other.
Right.
So this gives us an opportunity to come together as one. And the Oval it's going to have an amazing. You ever go to an event and you tell your family, I'll leave in, I'll be home by 10 o'clock.
Yes.
And then you say, oh gosh, I'm sitting down, I'm waiting for this because after this I will leave. And then you pick up your bag and you start to walk and you hear somebody else, some other talk, and you, oh my gosh, okay, I'll leave in after this, and you end up staying for the entire day. Well, the day is going to be jam-packed with so much, starting from the opening with His Grace Archbishop Jason Gordon to this magnificent parade in the opening ceremony. of huge flags coming from each vicariate, and we're going to build that colors of hope. If you look at the Jubilee logo, it's just beautiful colors of hope. Following that, we have this beautiful talk of intimacy with the Eucharist with Father Patrick Gonier, who's joined us all the way from the US. And then we go into the Holy Hour, where we just spend time with Jesus. And in that time, we have some beautiful surprises with this magnificent monstrance that's going to just pass and start healing us. And we go into this healing service. Of course, we have to break for lunch because, as Father said, we are people, I mean, Trini people, we tend to connect over food. So we're going to have lots of food to eat and drink on sale. People can bring their own food and drink, but we have to be mindful. Is it over?
Of course.
Coolers, we don't have space for coolers. Even when we go for cricket, we don't have space for coolers, right? But so there's going to be enough for you to eat and drink. And then when we come back, we just have another amazing talk, because we have for Archbishop Gabriel Manzel from St. Lucia. And I think Trini's love him already, because from the time he said he was coming, you know, he has this dynamic presence. And then we go into the preparation for Holy Mass.
The high point.
Which is the high point. But then we consecrate ourselves to the Eucharist. So it's going to be like jam-packed. You sit and you think, okay, I'm just going to come for this part. But I guarantee you, once you get seated, I don't think you want to move.
We have some people who want some rhythm section, want to come. We tell them cool it. We're doing it before breakfast, and then we're doing it at the lunch. Because we are Trinity, we're going to celebrate who we are.
Yes.
Right? It's like wine without alcohol, maybe, but you have a high, no hangover. And that's what it's about, you know, energizing with the oneness in the Eucharist.
Correct.
Yeah, it's definitely important coming together. Now, let's touch a little bit on the Eucharist, or let's not say the Eucharist, but the bread for the paraliturgy. You would have just referenced it, Father.
Yeah.
It's something that many people do look on from the outside and don't necessarily have that keen understanding. With this bread for the paraliturgy, do you think we're going to be able to marry the two together and demonstrate?
We intend to. It's a universality, it's a oneness, and people who don't want to believe, can't believe, that's fine. We want to incorporate people, and it's a welcoming, kind of hospitable way of inclusive. It's happening in other traditions in Ethiopia and China, and even in Trinidad here, you get the what do you call it? I'm not even sure. As a Creole Indian. The kind of, what they call it, the leaf, and you put all the food, and everybody eats from it, you know. That is what you're going to do with the bread. You bring a piece of bread, any kind of bread, gluten-free, whatever, and we're going to share it around, and then His Grace is going to bless it. It's called an agape meal. It's what early Christians did before the Eucharist was formalized. And you'll be surprised on the power of oneness when we all meet and all eat at the same time from the same bread. There is power in unity. And there's unity in power, and there's harmony in diversity, and diversity in harmony. So there's something that we have to tap into with this little piece of bread, what Jesus says. It was made out of parsley, which is grain that anybody could access. It's for the poor. And the church is not a church for the poor. The church must be a church of the poor. So no matter what you are in politics, you have to seek the common good of the other, especially the poorest of the poor. And that's what we try to do now.
What I'm hearing is a lot of being steeped in tradition, while of course being in 2025 also, and bringing, as you would have said, of course, the unity. There's power in unity together, so everybody's going to be able to partake and also partake in healing.
Yes.
Can we go a little bit through that component of the Congress?
So I think, honestly, if you've gone, like, with the last, since the 1st of May, this monstrance, a smaller monstrance, has been moving throughout the holy sites across Trinidad and Tobago. It started at the cathedral and then went all the way to Siparia and then to San Fernando, then Tortuga, it went to Maraval yesterday, and now it's going to Tobago. It's just amazing. But if you were present in those services, you saw healing. You actually felt it. People were saying, Father Jesse gave a testimony. He said, somebody said, my knee hurt for years. And she said, after my knee wasn't hurting, but I didn't want to say anything yet. And she called him back and said, you know what? My knee was healed. As you have real faith, you have to believe that God will heal you, you will be healed. And we expect massive healing. And not just physical healing, spiritual healing, healing of our people, healing of our land. So we can now turn back to where we started.
Not even healing the situation, but healing how you see the situation.
Correct.
That's important. We had big healing at the savannah. Anywhere God can come. And wherever Jesus is, He's a healer. And we believe He's present in the Blessed Sacrament. So people could come out, come to the Oval, and there are people who are viewing online too, that day. Who can't make it, there's a limitation to the Oval. We have tickets.
Yes.
We can talk about
We
tickets.
have tickets. We have tickets. Tickets have, actually started to move fast and furious since the 1st of May. We had tickets available before, but I think with Lent and Easter, too many things happening. Now tickets are going fast.
Yes.
So if you can't get it at an RC parish, because they're available, you can get it at Living Waters. You can get it at the bookstore at Santa Rosa Parish, at OLPH Parish, at Dominican Bookstore Indigo Martin, at St. Finbar's. We're trying to make it as available as possible, but then it's only so many seats, right? So Santa Rosa Parish, where Father Christo is stationed, is beautiful. They've decided, because we still need to come together. We're going to have people come together in the parish hall and view this live stream of this experience together. So listen to me. They already have their own rhythm section up there. So why we praising, and having our that same healing that's happening at the Oval? We expect to have it there, and we do have one in Scarborough, Tobago, and we're supposed to also have one in Port of Spain. But I think the energy is already there to just find a way, be like Zacchaeus and find a tree, climb up and get by the Oval.
Okay, I was just about to ask that. What about access to the live stream for those at home who may not be able to make
So
it?
Catholic TT is definitely streaming it online, Trinity TV, but it's available. And we do have, it's something I want to mention, we have not mentioned, because we think about the people who are disabled, who are wheelchair bound, who can't make it. We have 150 seats at the Oval specifically for them, where they can park their wheelchairs and they're secure, and we have medics close by, we have the ambulance service nearby, and they can have their caregiver. So we don't want to leave anybody out.
So it's a one, there's the priests, the deacons, the lay ministers, the people of God, believers, non-believers, everybody in this circularity at the Oval, worshiping this one God, healing. And there's stuff happening after, because this is just a flame, as I said. It's not the end of the Oval. You have it's a ignition point. A lot of things going to be happening later on as planned through our Jubilee committee.
Wonderful.
For example, a monstrance is going to be coming to Malabar, secret number 2, for 9 days. 9 days, 24/7 perpetual. It's no longer secret, we.
Well, yeah.
Right? So as the Saturday evening finishes, you're going to be blowing it up. You're going to have worship perpetual for 9 days in Arima Point.
So, Father, something you mentioned earlier, since, we're just laying all these secrets out on the table. How is this blessing of the waters taking place with the monstrance?
Well, the monstrance is going on the boat, so Jesus is going to be on the water. So this is happening as we speak today.
Yeah.
And we never had planned this. It's going to go to Tobago, blessing our shores, and bless the community in Tobago, and then it's going to come back again.
Wow, there are so many amazing things happening. I mean, hats off to the entire team. I know you've all been working around the clock to bring this together. You've been working around the clock. But, okay, there is one thing I think we definitely do need to touch on before we close, which is the fact that we do see many people drift away from the Catholic Church. And many times people may have whatever's going on internally. They may feel a bit of shame to come back and so much more. Father?
That's why we're having the agape meal. That's why we're opening it. Yeah. That's why we're asking you don't grab the tickets. Take 1 or 2, make sure you come in. It's for the non-Catholics, the non-believers, those who are struggling. Sometimes you are very active in the church and you're not there. You're there, but you're not there.
Yeah.
It's for all of us. Sometimes I'm a priest and I need help, right? So it's for all of us at different stages of the journey. But there is hope, because God promises. And when He promises, He's faithful to His promise. It's not optimism. There is hope in God. Where there's life, there is hope. And we are pilgrims of hope. And Jubilee is a year of resetting, recharging, detoxing, revitalizing. Come and get excited. Happens at the 50 years, 25.
Yeah, it does happen.
I would like to add, though, that, we talk about holding that guilt and Father Jesse said that at Tortuga. He said the guilt is what keeps us away from Christ, because He has already forgiven us.
Yeah.
And in the Catholic Church, we have that sacrament of reconciliation. You can make peace, but you have to forgive yourself.
Yeah.
And this is an opportunity to come for that healing and reunite yourself with
And there will be the sacrament of confession on that day in Oval. You have all the sacraments there. So the big church outside of a church building.
Something we haven't touched on. I know there are going to be shuttles leaving from certain parishes, but what about parking for those who would like to drive? Okay, so for those who would like to, we have limited parking at Nelson Mandela Park. You know how it is around the Oval. We are going to assign gates to the different regions. So east, west, north, south will have different gates, and that will be assigned today. Working on that just to avoid the congestion outside of the Oval. We would like patrons to be seated by 7:45 because we start promptly at 8. Gate opens at 6. So we do have that limited parking, but we have seen people starting maxi taxis. We have a parish from South that has about 6 maxi taxis coming up. So we know
carpool or bus pool.
Yes.
No umbrellas. Tanti will not be coming to this one. Of course. Please. No big umbrellas. Sorry.
No, you're right.
Yeah,
And
because we
You just have to pause sometimes.
tell Taj
I know.
to get
I
a big
love it
hat
so
or something,
much.
you know.
Yeah, just a nice big hat for sure. Definitely something to match your monstrance.
But yeah, but we will have a supply of water because we know the temperature. We're in Trinidad,
Of course.
and we ask people to walk with their own water as well. But I think when the Holy Spirit hits you, you don't feel any of these elements in the environment. And I can testify to that. It has happened to me where, I mean, and you know, at a certain age, you start to feel the heat more than other times in your life. I don't feel it when you're in the presence
you
of
just
the
have to
Lord.
come as you are.
Yeah.
God does the rest, you know.
Yes.
Otherwise, you stay as we are.
Yeah.
You
Amen.
can't come
Correct.
unmerited. It's unearned. Come on, you know. All of us in need of mercy, grace.
It's with the
and
experience.
the power of unity.
Agreed, 100%. It is with the experience. Unfortunately, we ran out of time. But thank you so much for coming. We're looking forward to the Eucharistic Congress 2025 and everything that's happening afterwards because, as you said, Father, this is igniting the fire.
Amen. We have tickets for you all.
Yes, awesome. Wonderful.
May
Thank you for
10th.
joining us. The Eucharistic Congress is happening on May the 10th. You do not want to miss it. Stay tuned because Level Up is coming up right after this.